How to install WordPress on Windows 11. Introduction. One of the most extensively used content management solutions is WordPress. It comes with a theme and plugin program that enables you to update your WordPress site at your leisure. You can experiment with the many features and customize your blog, website, or online marketplace to your own. Additionally, installing WordPress in Windows 11 is a smart move. This will allow you to handle all of your WordPress resources in Windows 11 more conveniently and efficiently. WordPress can be installed in Windows 11 via different methods as discussed here. Why do you need to install WordPress locally? Whether you run a WordPress site or explore WordPress, you should have WordPress locally downloaded on your Windows PC or laptop, so that you can construct or test sites in your local environment. Almost every site owner has set up a local WordPress environment to test and try out new features before implementing adjustments to their live site if everything is working correctly. A few benefits of installing WordPress locally on your Windows 11 Air. If you want to handle all of your resources locally, installing the content management systems like WordPress on Windows 11 is a good idea. You can also use a specialized web app to visit your website using a browser. WSL or a dedicated application with an integrated Linux server can be used to install WordPress. Those unfamiliar with WordPress can benefit from a local WordPress environment because they can study WordPress on Windows without paying for a hosting server or domain. So, how do you install WordPress on Windows locally? Step-by-step guide to install WordPress locally on Windows 11. Option 1. Using WSL. Step 1. Installing WSL. The first step in installing WordPress on Windows 11 is downloading and installing WSL Windows Subsystem for Linux. In the taskbar, tap the magnifier and type cmd. Choose that. This will bring up the console, where you should type the command. Install WSL. There is a gap following the WSL. Now, wait patiently for WSL to be installed. Once the installation process is complete and WSL is safely loaded on your device, you will receive a notification. Restart your computer right now. This completes the WSL installation procedure. If you want to update WSL, repeat the instructions above but use the command WSL update rather than WSL install. You'll also need to download a Linux distribution after WSL is installed. Run the command WSL list online to get a list of accessible distros. Decide which distro would be ideal for you after reviewing the available options. Run the following command using the exact instructions as before. WSL install the distro name to install. Following the installation of the Linux distribution, we will install a web server such as Nginx. The steps below will show you how to set up Nginx in Ubuntu or Linux distro. Step 2. Install Nginx. Because WordPress requires a web server to run, you'll need to download one like Nginx. You must run two commands when you boot up your Linux distribution, such as Ubuntu. Sudo apt update, sudo apt install Nginx. After installing Nginx, you'll need to run two more instructions to enable the start and stop services. Sudo service Nginx start, sudo service Nginx stop. Now you must determine whether the downloaded Nginx is operational. Enter the following into any browser. http://localhost. Your server is up and running if the website Welcome to Nginx appears. Step 3. Install a DB server. WordPress content is saved in a database server. Therefore, you'll need to set one up. We'll go over how to download the MariaDB server in this part. It is most Linux servers' default server, and it is fast and easy to use with WordPress. To begin, run the following command. Sudo apt install Myriad server. Run the following command to secure the database using a root password. Sudo mysql_secure_installation. After that, you'll be asked to answer a few questions. Step 4. Install PHP. It is mandatory to take this step. Due to the PHP-based nature of WordPress, Windows 11 does not require the installation of PHP. It's a very simple process. Install PHP by running the following command. Sudo apt install PHP fpm php common PHP mysql PHP gmp php call php install php string PHP xml pc PHP gd PHP xml php php zip. This command will install 7.4 Philippine pesos in this case. Run the following command to ensure the version is 7.4. sudo nano/etc/php/7.4/fpm/php. Step 5. Install WordPress. After installing the servers and PHP, it's a pretty straightforward process to install and start WordPress. To begin, use the following instructions to install WordPress. Widget cd/tmp https://wordpress.org/latest.tar.gz tarxvzf-latest.tar.gz sudo mv wordpress/vos/www/wordpress. Keep in mind that you'll need WordData to own the WordPress directory. Here are the steps to accomplish this. Sudo clone wordata/vos/www/wordpress/ sudo chmod 755/vos/www/wordpress/. Customize WordPress work with Nginx virtual host. Afterward, enter the server's hostname into your browser. Follow the on-screen instructions to install WordPress. The site is now yours to customize. Option 2. Using XAMPP. Installing XAMPP on a Windows computer. Firstly, you need to download XAMPP and install it on your computer. Simply go to the Friends of Apache website and click on the XAMPP for Windows link. Once the download is finished, it is necessary to run the newly downloaded file for the XAMPP installer to start. If there is an antivirus program running, you may get a pop-up message like this. Just click Yes and continue installing it. You may also obtain a User Account Controller Act prompt. If it does, click OK to continue. After you have read all the pre-install messages and warnings, you should see the following message to start the installation process. Click Next. The next screen will request you to choose which components to install. To use WordPress with XAMPP and the required components, you will have to choose. Any other component is optional. Once you choose the desired components, click on the Next button. Now, you need to select the folder where you want to install XAMPP. You can either create or use an existing folder inside the C directory. We'll leave the default route, which we recommend you do. XAMPP is now ready to install all the files you have indicated above. Starting the installation process. Clicking Next once more will start the installation process. Please wait for a while as it might take a few minutes to finish depending on the number of packages you choose to install. Once the installation process is finished, you can start the XAMPP control panel right away by leaving the Do You Want to Start Control Panel Now checkbox selected and click Finish. If you want /need to start XAMPP differently for any reason, you can go to the XAMPP folder inside your chosen installation directory and open the XAMPP control panel file. When Control Panel first opens, it will ask you to choose your preferred language. You can select your preferred language. Once you've chosen your preference, click the Save button. You should now see the XAMPP Control Panel screen. To review if everything is functioning correctly, you can click on the Start buttons of Apache and MySQL. If everything is configured correctly, both components should run without any issues. However, if they don't start, there might be a problem with a program like Skype or something similar that is using the same ports as the XAMPP modules. In this case, you should close the conflicting applications and restart XAMPP. Tip: we can give you valuable information on modifying your PHP resources in XAMPP and free up more power on your local server. This is especially necessary when installing a premium theme on your local installation. First, when you turn on XAMPP, you need to click the Config button for the Apache server and choose to open the php.ini file from the drop-down menu. After that, you'll see all the relevant settings for the PHP resources in that file in your default text editor. All you need to do is change the following resources to the indicated values. When the new values are added, just save the changes and restart your XAMPP by stopping Apache and MySQL and restarting them. Once all components are working correctly, open your preferred browser and visit http://localhost/ downloading the WordPress files. Now, it's time for you to add WordPress to the localhost site we just created. To do so, you must first download the latest version of WordPress from the official website. Once you finish the download, navigate to the folder where you installed XAMPP. In our case, that was the default installation path, XAMPP. From there, find and open the Docs folder. Create a WordPress folder for your website in Docs. The name of this folder will become the sub-name used to access your WordPress site. For example, if you name the folder as the new site, you will access your site by visiting http://localhost/new site within your desired browser. Once you create the folder, you need to open it, and inside it, Extract the WordPress.zip file that you downloaded earlier, creating a database for WordPress. Now, create a MySQL database for your local WordPress site. To do this, launch PyAdmin from your XAMPP control panel by clicking the Administration button for the MySQL component. The PyAdmin browser page will open in your default browser. Simply click on the new link to create a database for your WordPress site. Enter a name for your database. In the second field, select the collation option. Now click Create. You can name your database as per your choice. Just remember your name as you will need it in future steps. Once all this is done, now restart the simulated web server. Navigate to the XAMPP control panel and click on the Stop button for Apache and MySQL. Then press Start again to make the changes visible. Installing WordPress locally. Now that you have installed XAMPP, copy the WordPress files and created a database. Navigating to http://localhost/newsite within your preferred browser should bring up the WordPress installation wizard. Choose the preferred language and click Continue. The next screen will ask you to remember the database information you created earlier. Continue to the following setup by clicking on the Let's Go button. Below you need to enter the following information accurately and then click Submit. Below you need to enter the following information accurately and then click Submit. Fill in the fields with your site details, such as your site title, email address, etc. When you are done, click Install WordPress. Wonderful! Now, you are ready to work with XAMPP and WordPress locally to develop your site. We hope you will find this tutorial helpful if you also need to install WordPress on XAMPP in the future. Option 3. Using a dedicated app. It's a lot easier to install WordPress locally with a dedicated app. We are going to use Instant WP here. Step 1. Download the Instanch software and run the downloaded instanch.exe file on your Windows. Step 2. Create a folder on your PC to store the server files and Instant WordPress. Step 3. Click on the Next button to start the installation process. Step 4. Once the installation has been completed, click the Instanch icon inside the folder to open your control panel. Step 5. In the end, click on the WordPress admin button to start the Instanch. Now, you will see a browser window where you log into your WordPress server. Option 4. WordPress Sandbox. Instap Sandbox method has to be one of the fastest options to test a WordPress site online if you have less time. Folks at Instap helps you launch a WordPress site in seconds. They provide WordPress Sandbox functionality, and with a free account it gives you the ability to test a site for 48 hours. After that, you have the options to migrate it to another hosting provider or on your local machine or get their paid plans. It also has built-in editors for the databases and code, and you can monitor logs on the same platform. You can give it a try. Conclusion: hopefully, this post has helped you understand how to install WordPress on Windows 11 locally. One of the most impressive aspects of WordPress is the ability to create the same website on your computer using the same plugins. This opportunity gives you greater room to develop and maintain your website. Installing WordPress locally on Windows is beneficial. You can replicate the live site to make modifications until you are happy with it. A WordPress localhost website also comes in handy when you are having problems, have site problems, need to discover bugs, alter your site, etc. Refer to our blog page if you are eager to know more related articles on WordPress best practices, troubleshooting techniques, and other tips. However, we at Seahawk Media provide the best of all the services to meet your end-to-end WordPress needs. Contact us or check our blog page for more insights.